What we can read from the water's story carved on the ancient stone? When myths and giants faded, how did we define time? Do rivers divide us or connect us? Can we tame the waters without losing the wonder? As rivers flow through our cities, what futures do they carry? Over generations, humanity's intimate relationship with water has molded our living patterns and inspired remarkable architectural innovations. Along the Yangtze and the Nile stand two magnificent architectural heritage sites. Though separated by thousands of miles, they together bear witness to the enduring legacy of human civilization across time. Timber structures demonstrate the wisdom of modern architecture through their coherent unity of material, structure, and form. As early as 7,000 years ago, China saw the emergence of the world's earliest wooden architecture. The humid climate and complex terrain of the Yangtze River Basin gave rise to uniquely adaptive and ingenious timber construction techniques. Located in Zhang County, Chongqing, Shibaozhai is one of the most representative structures. In 1573, the ruling authority built a temple atop Yudian Mountain, which soon became a popular pilgrimage site despite the treacherous mountain path. During the Kangxi reign, the first climbing pavilion was constructed, and by 1819, local residents raised funds to rebuild it. The result was the world's only Chuan-do-style wooden pavilion built against a massive solitary peak, standing 45 meters tall.
First, look at the two dragons playing the ball, and look at the little boy, and his name is Nile. Nile, he's a little god in the Taoism, right?
A rough measurement shows that the pagoda is tilted 0.56 meters toward the mountain. This ingenious design uses the mountain as a natural support and reduces the impact of wind on high-rise structures.
When I walked in, I noticed that the floor seemed to be slanted, higher outside and lower inside.
It was built into rock with the whole body leaning against the rock face. So at first, the local villagers, they cut the holes into rock, then put their planks inside the pagoda.
Timber architecture in the Yangtze region must not only adapt to the staggered terrain of mountainous landscapes, but also account for the seismic risks posed by the area's numerous fault zones. As early as 2,500 years ago, Chinese philosopher and engineer Mozi proposed reinforcing city wall foundations by burying wooden pillars, a method aimed at preventing collapse when enemies tunneled underground. He recognized the excellent resistance of wooden structures to sudden impacts and cyclic fatigue damage. The construction of Shibaozhai used the unique material and design of wooden structure to increase its ability to resist earthquakes.
那么我们对世宝寨是怎么定位呢？中国最高的穿斗式的木结构建筑，所以它的造型非常奇妙。
The Chuan-do-style construction features vertical columns that extend directly to the ground, connected horizontally by beams to form an integrated framework. The roof's weight is transferred directly to the columns through purlins. The densely arranged columns and fully exposed beam structures leave all structural components visible, with no ceiling to conceal them. This design also allows the 9-story wooden building to stand securely on the cliffside overlooking the river. The art of woodwork finds its ultimate expression at Shibaozhai. The building's beams and columns are joined without a single nail, yet the structure has stood strong for centuries, thanks to the ingenious craftsmanship of traditional mortise and tenon joints. Mortise and tenon is a distinctive joinery technique used in ancient Chinese wooden architecture. Widely applied in furniture, buildings, bridges, and various wooden structures, it relies on the precise interlocking of wooden components to achieve structural stability and load-bearing capacity without the use of nails or metal fittings. For wooden structures near water, ventilation and moisture resistance are key considerations in both material selection and overall design. Shibaozhai was built using hardwoods that had matured over many years, naturally resistant to insects and decay. As a result, the structure remains remarkably well preserved to this day. Its long preservation has allowed the structure to bear witness to centuries of civilization. Later additions, such as Buddhist stone carvings and Taoist temples, reflect a fusion of diverse religious traditions. This not only highlights the cultural inclusiveness of Southwest China, but also symbolizes the involvement of ordinary people in the restoration and continued use of the site, giving it deeper cultural significance.
As I learned more about this fascinating structure, I became increasingly curious about the stone walls surrounding Shibaozhai.
Why were stone walls built around Shibaozhai? It all began with the Three Gorges Dam. On May 20th, 2006, the Three Gorges Dam was completed along its entire 2,308-meter length, becoming the world's largest hydroelectric project.
三峡工程完工后，库区最高水位将达到175米。这个时候，玉印山将会四面环水，江水也会淹到石堡在寨门中间的位置。
To minimize the impact of the Three Gorges Reservoir on cultural relics, China launched a large-scale heritage preservation campaign during the construction of the project. Among these efforts, the protection of Shibaozhai required a particularly unique and innovative approach. The Yuyin Mountain, on which the building stands, is a solid sandstone peak formed by long-term erosion from the Yangtze River and geological activity. Its unique geological structure, along with the safety of residents throughout the Shibao town area, posed significant challenges in selecting a suitable protection plan.
最关键的是玉印山的岩心，它是泥岩，这溅了水就烂掉了。我们对它进行了这个解剖，就是检测，最后得出来的玉印山那个泥岩也是跟着这个山形上去的。我们就慎重选择了一个中型方案，就把石堡寨整个玉印山及其周围保护起来，那么可以让其他的工程。所以现在看来，这个选择是对的。
The Shibaozhai Cultural Heritage Conservation Project officially launched in 2005, with major works including embankment and slope protection, rock stabilization, a pedestrian bridge, and the restoration of ancient structures. The project ultimately resulted in the construction of a 178-meter elevation, 660-meter-long cofferdam encircling the entire Shibaozhai complex and Yuyin Mountain. The overall design was inspired by the aesthetics of traditional Chinese bonsai art, harmoniously blending engineering with natural and cultural beauty.
我们搞文物保护的，不单是它的物重要，它的价值成分更重要。 就保护它是长江上的一个兴奋点，所以就原地保护，选了最难的一条路。所以现在它的建筑是奇异建筑，它的这个保护方式成就了它的奇。
From this story, I deeply felt that the ancient Chinese people profound care for their homeland. In my hometown, Egypt, human creativity is also showcased through similar preservation projects. Although different from Shibaoye protection methods, these efforts have still set historic example for global heritage conservation.
The ancient Egyptians built their temples with solid stone to symbolize the eternal presence of the gods, allowing these sacred structures to stand tall and timeless in the desert. In the Nubian desert near the border of Egypt and Sudan, one of ancient Egypt's most renowned pharaohs, Ramses II, spent 20 years constructing the Abu Simbel Temple, completed in 1264 BCE, as a grand testament to royal authority and national power. Much like Shibaozhai, this structure was also built against a cliff face. At the entrance of the temple, 4 towering statues of Ramses II, each 20 meters high, stand in solemn majesty, representing the pharaoh at different stages of life: childhood, youth, maturity, and old age. At their feet are delicate carvings of his beloved Queen Nefertari and his mother Tuya. Flanking the sides are statues of Ra-Horakhti, the sun god, and Ptah, the creator god.
That the King Ramses II, after he controlled the north side of Egypt, he controlled the south side of Egypt. That's why he sent many campaigns to control Africans to the south of Egypt, as that was a very important reason for the King Ramses II to construct Abu Simbel Temple here, far from Aswan, far from Luxor, just to tell the Africans that he was a very strong king to protect the southern borders of ancient Egypt during that time. How many hands did he have? 3. How come? I believe that the King Ramses II wanted to tell us that he was very quick, he was very fast during his fighting. That's why his hand should to us, or we can see his hands as a 3 or 4 or 5 and so on. Very fast.
Inside the temple are inscriptions expressing Ramses II's deep affection for his queen, Nefertari. In front of the temple he built for her, Hathor Temple. Her statues stand equal in height to the pharaohs, a unique feature among all Egyptian temples. Visitors from around the world come not only to admire this magnificent architectural complex, but also to witness its greatest secret: how it was relocated here, piece by piece, without altering its original grandeur. Indeed, this is not the original site of the Abu Simbel Temple complex. For centuries, Egypt has witnessed the cycle of parching droughts and devastating floods. In the 1960s, the Egyptian government decided to build the Aswan High Dam to control Nile flooding and generate electricity, a project that profoundly transformed Egypt's agriculture and economy. However, as the dam's water level rose, it led to the formation of Lake Nasser, which threatened the survival of many ancient sites. The most well-known among them was the Abu Simbel Temple complex.
This is Lake Nasser, a massive reservoir created by the Aswan High Dam. These tranquil water now cover the original site of Abu Simbel until an extraordinary UNESCO rescue mission carefully relocated the temples block by block to higher ground, preserving Ramses II's legacy for the world.
In 1960, to protect these monuments from destruction, Egypt and UNESCO launched the Nubian Campaign. a global initiative carried out by an international team of experts.
3 different ideas were put at the beginning. The first one, they suggested that they could construct a dam about 80 meters to the east side of the 2 temples just to prevent water. In fact, it was impossible because that dam would not prevent the water, whatever its height. Second of all, that dam could store the view of the sun to go inside the great temple of Abu Simbel to shine on the face of the statue of the King Ramses II. The second idea, they suggested they could remove the 2 temples by pressing about 265 tons for the great temple, 55,000 tons for the smaller temple. It was impossible, that idea, because they were very worried to destroy the pieces or the blocks of the 2 temples.
The final protection plan involved carefully dismantling the 2 temples piece by piece. The Abu Simbel temple was cut into 807 precisely measured blocks, while the smaller Hathor temple was divided into 235 blocks. Each piece was meticulously numbered and transported to higher ground, where the temples were reassembled on specially constructed slopes to restore their original grandeur. Simply restoring the structures was not enough. There was one crucial challenge that had to be solved. It would determine whether the temple could retain its most secret and extraordinary feature.
Ramses II made himself as a god during his first life, not just during the next life as the other kings before or after.
This is also a huge statue about Ramses II worship the 3 gods.
That was the look Amun-Ra, Ra-Horakhti, the goddess. Look at her name over there. The famous gods during that time. The King Ramses was in the situation of worshipping in front of them. So he was worshipping all of them.
To deify himself, Ramses II created a miracle at Abu Simbel. On his birthday and coronation day each year, sunlight travels through a 60-meter corridor to precisely illuminate the statues of himself, Amun-Ra and Ra-Horakhti, while Ptah, the god of darkness, remains in shadow. This astonishing alignment reflects the perfect fusion of ancient Egyptian astronomical precision and architectural mastery.
See this? Twice every year in February and October, the rising sun still finds its way to illuminate Ramses' inner chamber, just as the ancient architects designed. This solar phenomenon was preserved with perfect accuracy during the temple's relocation.
The beginning of the farming, the beginning of the agriculture, and the second date was the harvest of the crops, because as you know, that the agriculture was and is still depending on the river Nile and the sun in Egypt. And so far we have a solar disk, a solar calendar or moon calendar in Egypt, which arranged for us the agriculture everywhere all over of Egypt, which she called the Coptic calendar.
This monumental effort gave birth to the World Heritage List, which has since protected 1,073 cultural and natural sites around the globe. Without this campaign, treasures like Vienna's historic center or Angkor Wat might have remained only in written records. Today, new technologies continue to advance the research and preservation of the Abu Simbel site.
And these 3D models will be available for the Ministry of Antiquities to use it for anything that they need for the future as a standard for the great temple and the small temple. For example, any cracks or any movement could happen from any natural thing or even for conservation.
The relocation of Abu Simbel stands as both a trial for preservation and a testament to human ingenuity. Past and future converge here by the life-giving Nile, where ancient wonders endure as eternal legacies.
Humanity continues to create new wonders while safeguarding those of the past. The construction of the Three Gorges Dam and the Aswan High Dam permanently altered the courses of two great rivers. Today, when visitors stand beneath the sweeping eaves of Shibaozhai or gaze up at the colossal statues of Abu Simbel, they witness not only the brilliance of ancient craftsmanship, but also the enduring legacy written by generations of guardians.